My dad was the most important person in my life. Whenever I needed him, he was there. I remember when I was younger, I wrote a couple chapters of a story I had in my head. I left the document open on his computer when I went to bed. When I woke the next morning, he had printed out the 10 or so pages of the story and wrote edits for it. Something I hadn't taken seriously at all, he had put the effort into helping me complete. I love this art for the card Pacifism. Originally printed in 7th edition, there was no non-foil black border version of this card art until 2023. For a long time, this was the only art for the card Pacifism I liked. Icoria's addition to the ranks now takes second place. This art, to me, more than Karn's picture ever could, shows the idea of pacifism. No person was ever in more support of my hobbies than my father. He let me use his television to watch Pro Tours, One Piece, and fun YouTube videos, taking over his living room. He would ask me to plan a Grand Prix or Magic event to go to every year, and take me to them. He helped me find a poster board for a Pokemon poster I got as a pre-order bonus. He told me to save things as memories to look back on. In Eric Peterson's take on pacifism, a warrior has discarded their armor and sword and leaves into the snowy wilderness. This shows a hard truth about the idea of pacifism. You give up the safety of defense when you choose not to fight. Telling others you are a pacifist does not stop them from trying to best you. When I told my partner, I thought I was in a position where I could start my dream of opening a game store. She quietly began to distance herself from me. When I told my dad, he asked how he could help. When I had opened the game store with my best friend, I quietly abdicated a responsibility for it, and it became my sole burden to bear. I asked my dad for help, and he said he could come back to working there when I couldn't. In pacifism's art, the man walks alone into the cold. He might not make it to shelter, but he's willing to traverse winter by himself, showing the life he relinquished when he left his uniform. My father was once an alcoholic. That's what I've been told, but I've never seen it. When I was born, he gave up alcohol cold turkey so that he could be there for me as I grew up. Pacifism prevents a creature from attacking and blocking. In a way, traps them on the battlefield. They can only helplessly watch as the game continues on without them. Prisoners in a battle they don't even want to be a part of. I love my father more than anything. At the ICU, he told me he loved me more than most, which for a moment confused me. Of course, he loved me more than most people did. Then I remembered being young and upset that my dad had found a comeback to my excellent plan of telling him I loved him most. In the ICU, you're like the pacified creature. You sit there and watch as there's nothing you can do. You can tell your dad you love him, but most of the time he's asleep. And when he isn't, it's pretty hard for him to talk. The flavor text of this art says, "Without warriors, there can be no war." A poignant phrase referencing the idea that wars are fought by people, but not for their needs. My dad always got me the best gifts. They were never the most expensive things, or the stuff I asked for, but they were the things he knew I would like. When I was a teenager who stayed out late with my friends, he didn't question it. He let me be who I wanted. When I cried in the alley behind his house, he told me it was okay to cry. This pacifism is one of my favorite cards. Every other version is lacking, but the art, the flavor text, the full picture is beautiful to me. My dad loved camping and asked me to go with him every year. We watched NASCAR, and above all else, he loved motorcycles. When I was 5 to 10, I hated being on the back seat of a motorcycle, afraid I might lose my balance. So my dad sold his bike for a truck, the truck I now drive. When we were camping, my dad told me he disliked fishing, but when I fished with someone else and caught one, he helped me fillet, descale, and cook it on the campfire. That was a good fish. My dad wasn't perfect, but that's all right. No one is, and I still love him. In this video, I've only scratched the surface of my memories of my father. I've also told a lie. My father isn't dead. He's still in the ICU. As of writing this, today is the first day to me he felt like he was getting better. My hope is that he continues to get better, and he can leave the hospital, though the data trends the other way. Maybe I can show him this video, and he can see how much I love him while he's still alive.